students, welcome back to PACE Academy. Till now we have read about the prokaryotic cell and we continued with the cell membrane of a eukaryotic cell which has true nuclear membrane and membrane bound organelles. In that we are talking about the cell wall. Cell wall is a characteristic feature of these plants and also some fungi. So this cell wall is giving what? It is giving rigidity to the cell. It is giving a rigid support and structure to the cell. That's the reason cell wall is very important in your cell and the structure of the cell. So it is a non-living, it is not having any life or it is not having any type of metabolic activity that is occurring inside it. Rigid structure. Rigid means it is not being or we cannot break the cell wall. Found outer to the plasma membrane, it is found outside and that too adjacent to the cell membrane of fungi and plants. And the difference between the cell wall in the fungi and plants is, in plants it is made up of cellulose, whereas in fungi it is made up of chitin. Cell wall of algae is made up of cellulose, galactose, mannans and also minerals like calcium carbonate. So all of these in your examination they will ask you what are the elements which are forming the cell wall of algae or cell wall of the plants. It should be, if it is specifically algae, then your answer should be cellulose, galactans, mannans and also minerals like calcium carbonate. But if it is other plants other than the algae, it contains what? Cellulose, hemicellulose, pectins and proteins. So cellulose, hemicellulose, pectins and proteins. Do note it down because in your examination they will ask you what is the difference between the cell wall of algae and other plants. Here you can see in the picture the greenish structure, the thick greenish structure that you are seeing here is the cell wall. Next, cell wall of a young plant cell or newly or just germinating plant, primary wall is capable of growth. So when the plant is in the young stage, the cell wall is also able to grow in its size and also thickness. It gradually diminishes as the cell matures and the secondary wall is formed on the outside. So first it was increasing in its thickness and also the width, whereas when it is matured or when the mature state, it becomes a secondary wall or it is turning into the secondary wall, which in turn is forming the inner side. It is forming inner side of the cell wall. That means it is just adjacent to the cell membrane, towards the membrane. The middle lamella is a layer mainly of calcium pectate. So if you divide the cell wall into three parts, the innermost part is called secondary layer, the middle part is called the middle lamella. This middle lamella is again made up of calcium pectate. Calcium pectate is the one which is forming the middle lamella. It glues the different neighboring cells. So this middle lamella is the one which is trying to join or put the two adjacent cells together without any gap or just mishappenings between the cell. The cell wall and the middle lamella may be transfers to plasmadesmosomes. So what are plasmadesmosomes? They are nothing but the interconnections. So they are locking two cells together such that there is no movement or there is no disruption between each cells, which connect the cytoplasm of the neighboring cell. So this is also helping in the exchange of few materials between two adjacent cells. So when you see, there are three layers in the cell wall. The outermost is the, you can see the middle lamella. Then you can see the primary cell wall and the plasma membrane. So this primary cell wall which is towards the plasma membrane is becoming the secondary cell wall in the adult stage, and also this pectins or the middle lamella is acting as a support for two adjacent cells. You can observe here this structure, this yellowish structure which is extending from one cell to the other cell is nothing but plasmadesmosomes. These extensions or plasmadesmosomes are interconnecting two cells. After they are interconnecting these two cells, they are helping in the transportation of few materials or they are acting as a junction between these two cells.